want to welcome you guys to this Leadership Institute. If you want to take me forward on the slides, this is a time for us to get together here, really come together as leaders and really discuss how we can create collective power. My name is Stefisha Ikoy Walton. I am a
Que
parent.
fue a agarrar unos tamales.
A wife, I am a community leader, I am a financial literacy advocate, and I'm a licensed investment advisor. I do the work that I do with FIA because I understand that, 2 out of our 10 Black and brown kids cannot read at grade level by the time they hit the 3rd grade. And quite honestly, my son falls into the category of Black and brown students. So, for me, I've dedicated my entire career to, really trying to increase opportunity for our underserved communities. And quite honestly, all across the country, I've had the opportunity to teach financial literacy to thousands of young adults and young people. And I provide them with the tools that they need to, to get access to a better future. The reason that, I find the work that FIA to do, that FIA does to be so impactful is because FIA gathers people who don't understand that they are already leaders and allows us to create a circle of power that gets things done, and we're able to create change. Just this last year, I was able to work side by side with my wife, with several other organizers and leaders in the community, including Susan and Javi, and a couple of other people, Miss Emily from over at Cox Academy, and we organized a literacy action, excuse me, for our students, as well as we advocated for $28 million for the students of Cox Academy. And for us, that was a really, really big win. Furthermore, I really enjoyed doing the work on the campaigns with candidates like Jorge Lerma and helping to participate in that win. So, as I toss it over to my cohort, I hope you all understand that you were born leaders. And if you don't understand that, then hopefully through, this entire cohort, we can help you understand just how much power you have. Benjamin, please do us the favor of introducing yourself and let everybody know how much of an amazing youth leader you are. Y'all, if y'all don't know, you guys are about to find out.
Yo, first off, hold on. Before I start, I want to give Stefisha a quick feel woo woo. Ready? So on the count of 3, let's unmute and yell out woo woo. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Woo woo. All right. So if y'all haven't met me, my name is Benjamin Seja, and I'm a senior at Oakland Union High School. Also a FIA youth leader for about 2 years. So prior for me to joining FIA, I had no idea that I had no idea that most public schools that were not graduating students A through G eligible are also performing, just as the feature said, like low data, not low data, but like very low, how do you call it? Like students were performing very low, right? And once I joined and I learned all this, I got so inspired, and that's when I started working with Javi more and started talking and empowering other youths to speak up and use their voice, as we are often left in the dark. So with me coming to FIA, it really built up leadership skills to me, and I really enjoyed it because now I know I've helped out other people, students, parents, youth, to speak up for themselves and also fight for um, like justice, right? Because us Oakland students, most of us Black and brown students are not expected to be like set up for success. So yeah, once like FIA has helped a lot of families and youth parents in order like for that situation. So I feel like extremely like proudful. I couldn't really like speak in front of people that much before. And after I built that courage and I feel comfortable even talk to a candidate forum. And that's a little bit about me, and that's my story. So thank you.
Absolutely. Hey, you guys, look, Benjamin did it to me. Now I'm gonna do it to him. Y'all do me a favor, come off mute. You know we love our FIA woo woo. And on the count of 3, we're gonna give Benjamin a huge woo woo. So ready? 1, 2, 3. Woo! Woo! Yes. So look, you guys do me a favor. We have a group of amazing leaders, right? 45 of us in here. But we would love to be able to see everybody's faces. We don't care if you cook, if you're helping the kids with the homework, or I know some people you might got, other kids running around the background. That is totally okay. We want to be able to see you guys so we at least can judge from your facial expressions if you're picking up what we're putting down. So if that's all right with everybody, give me a thumbs up, give me an okay in the chat, something like that, so I know you can hear me. And let's keep it rolling. Let's move it forward. Benjamin, it's on you.
Thank you, thank you. So as I mentioned before, I've been a FIA youth leader for the last 2 years. And, I'm proud to do the work. So we're gonna go ahead and read our FIA credential. So FIA is a parent and youth-led organization anchored in 45 charter and district schools within Oakland. So since we've been have founded in 2019, we have trained over 500 parents and youth educator leaders. That's a lot. And we are motivated by the reality that not only 2 out of 10 Black and brown students in Oakland can read at grade level, and only 1 out of 10 students are at grade level in math. Our children deserve better. FIA believes every student in Oakland deserves equitable access to quality public education. And that's why. So we are proud to be leading a movement to develop grassroots education champions who ensures that our voices and stories are heard by decision makers.
All right, you guys. So look, if you resonate with the FIA credential, go ahead and give me a heart. If this is what you're here for, if you're here to help in this mission, in this movement, let us hear you, because this is what I'm here for, to be able to help this move forward. So let's talk about our FIA Zoom agreements before we jump into the night, okay? When it comes to being on Zoom, imagine being in an office, you guys, right? Like, there's protocol we need to follow. Now that you know a little bit about us, we just want to continue to help you get to know everything else, okay? So just please rename yourself,
Llamo para escuchar
add your
español.
school, remember to choose your interpretation, and we want you guys to participate actively and try to be on camera, okay? So we're here to build community with one another, so we want to see you guys' beautiful faces. Just smile for us a little bit. We know y'all got some beautiful smiles. And keep in mind, it's only polite to mute when you're not speaking. So we want to respect the mic. Let's be considerate and make sure that we can all hear each other, because that's how we pull the most out of the information. And when you have a question, feel free to raise your hand so that we can call on you, and utilize the chat box, because we have only a limited amount of time, but we do want to consider everybody's thoughts, okay? So we encourage everybody to ask questions and to give comments, because your questions and your comments can help others. And then finally, make sure that you give affirmations and support by using your reaction buttons. So everybody pick any reaction that you want to right now and go ahead and put it up. Any reaction you want. So whether it's a heart, whether it's a celebration hat, a smiley face, cry face, put it up. And then let me know, is everybody good with that? Thumbs up? Everybody good? All right. So let's hop into our FIA mission statement, because I think it's important. I think it's really important for you guys to know why we are here. So Benjamin, let me pass it back over to you so we could jump into the mission statement.
Yeah. All right. So FIA's mission is FIA Families in Action for Quality Education mission is to champion the values of quality, equity, and access in Oakland public education. So the pillars of our work includes 1, building the personal leadership capacity of parents, youth, educators, and school leaders to be champions for quality schools by training and coaching, organizing, and leadership. 2, fighting for the right of underserved students to gain access to high quality public education by ensuring that our voices, stories, and experiments are heard by education policy decision makers. 3, leading a city-wide movement of organizations to align and channel their collective power through our issue and civic engagement campaigns. So let me know in the chat, and also I'm gonna call on somebody, which pillar best resonates with you. So you could type in the reaction button of each, and I'm gonna go ahead and share mine. Mine is 2, fighting for the right of underserved students. Because not everybody should have, quality education, right? So that's my favorite one. Let me know what you guys is. Drop it in the chat.
All right, let's get those reactions going, you guys. And as you guys drop your reactions into the chat, we're gonna get into some recap questions. So I want us to really recap and talk about what we did in session 2. We're gonna go through this kind of fast, but if we were paying attention, it shouldn't take us very long, okay? So can you guys put my recap questions up on the screen for me? Because I'm gonna go ahead and get started on number 1 for them. So all y'all ready? Thumbs up, ready for the recap? Let's see if we can do our recap in 60 seconds. Here we go. So our first question says, Oakland's education political landscape is shifting. When fully implemented, Measure S will allow approximately 13,000 non-citizen parents and guardians to vote in OUSD school board election. Is this A, true, or B, false? I need you to drop your answers in the chat. Make sure you put a number 1 next to it, because we're going to come back and do all of the answers at the end. So drop your answer in the chat. We are moving on to question number 2. Benjamin?
Yup. So, hope y'all get it right. It's been a minute, but for question number 2 is Oakland education political landscape is shifting. When fully implemented, Measure QQ will lower the voting age for school board elections to include 16 and 17-year-olds. Is it A, true, or B, false? Let's get it. Put in the chat.
Come
A
on.
or B?
A or B?
Yep, I know it's been a while, but y'all got it. Y'all got it.
Y'all could do it. I believe in y'all. Y'all feeling refreshed with these questions? Yeah, y'all feel it. Look, we're going to give y'all the answers, but not quite. Number 3. Oakland's educational political landscape is once again shifting. 4 of 7 Alameda County School Board members are up for election in March 2024, with areas 3 and 4 being priority races for FIA. Is this a true statement, which is A, or is it B, false? Put number 3, A or B, true or false, in the chat. Drop it in there. And Benjamin's going to take us through our last question before we go through the answers. We're going to call on y'all to give y'all answers out loud, so you better be ready. Benjamin, what you got?
All right. Wait, is the 4th one on there? I don't see it.
Oh, yeah. Lucky number 4.
Oh, yep. So for our 4th question is, according to Marshall Gans, strategy is how we turn what we have into what we need. Is it A, get more money, B, get more attention, or C, get what we want? And we about to find out right now if y'all got it right or wrong.
Oh,
Go,
yes.
drop in the chat. Drop in the chat.
Drop it in the chat. So for question number 1, I'd like to call on, let me see. Priscilla, can you answer question number 1 for us, Miss Priscilla Zamora? Okay, let me see. Let me see. Daisy from Lazier, what do you think? Question number 1, what do we got?
True. Number 8.
The answer is true. Great job. Everybody agree? Give me a thumbs up. All right. Question number 2. What's the answer? Somebody come off mute. What is it?
True.
Yup, you got it right. It is true.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Benjamin.
All right, so now for question 3, go. Is it true or is it false? A or B? Let me know. Anybody want to come on mute? No.
Oh, don't be nervous.
Come on, y'all got it. Y'all got it.
True.
Yeah, it's true. You see?
True.
Good job, Doreen.
You got it. All right, and then for the last question, was it A, get more money, B, get more attention, or C, get what we want? All right, I don't want to call on somebody. Somebody come off mute. Let me know. Is it A, B, or C? Try to do this quick.
C.
Yo, you got it right. So that's a little recap of our session 2 pop quiz. And then we could go ahead to the next slide.
I'm sitting here talking. Look, how come nobody told me I was talking to myself? How many of y'all done that this week? Anybody make the rookie mistake and talk to themselves on mute? Look, we going somewhere this 2024, you guys. And this Winter Leader Institute is proof of that. So we are session number 3. And Benjamin, go ahead, talk to them about where we're at today and where we're headed in our upcoming week before we dive into it. Did I lose my co-host? Okay, that's all right. Look, y'all, we going into
session 3. Oh,
okay, go ahead.
So where we going in session 3? So we are now halfway through our institute. These last 2 sessions are super important. So always, make sure you're here. It does matter. And also goes to your stipend. So in today's session, what's at stake with the ACOE? We will focus on the organizer principle. Real power is often hidden. Our training today will learn that the ACOE exists. We will learn about its members, its function, and how it impacts charter schools. How are we feeling about that? Let me get some reactions in the chat box. You can get some thumbs up, some clapping, some excited, nervous. Drop in the chat box. Also, user reactions. Yo, I see clapping emoji, clapping reaction emoji, praying, thumbs up. Yo.
So look, without purpose, let's keep it moving forward. So without a true understanding of our purpose and what we're looking to have as an outcome, we can't accomplish much. Okay. So before we go over the agenda for the rest of this evening, just know that our purpose for today is really to understand the importance of the Alameda County Board of Education, known as the ACOE, right? Who they serve, their role with charter schools, who's going to be up for election, and what impact the election is going to have on charter schools. So all of our students here in Oakland, right? And so for our outcome, particular session, we want our leaders, which are all of you guys, to understand the role that ACOE plays in the authorization and the oversight of the charter schools, as well as what's at stake with our current spring board elections. So drop it in the chat. What day is the election? Pop quiz. Somebody tell me. Look, when the election? Who been paying attention? When's the chat? I mean, when's the look, I said when's the chat? When's the election? Okay, look, Michael, you don't count. You don't count. Yeah, okay, Angie, use the second one up. Good job. March 5th. Good job, you guys. Great job. So look, we want to make sure that, present. Oh yeah, but there's another important date right there, February 8th. Look, somebody come off mute. Tanisha, what you say? Look, why you put February 8th? Look, we got another important date.
Because my calendar for January and February is, February is getting filled too. So I'll be constantly making sure. So I'm like, how did I get it mixed up?
No, that's okay. I thought you was gonna tell them about a research action or something we were doing with Fia on that day. Look, what else is going on? We got a lot of great stuff with Fia, you guys. So Benjamin, talk to him about the rest of the schedule for today.
Yeah, so as me as to keep our main purpose, now we're gonna have he's gonna lead us through the training onto what is at stake for the election, and we will go into breakout groups to discuss, and then we will come back and map our networks so we can make sure we get the right people in the room for the virtual forum on February 8th, with Tanisha mentioned, and then we will go back to our small groups to practice those invitations before we adjourn. Y'all know Tanisha's date was super important. It's our forum, our virtual. So yeah, next I'm gonna hand it off to Michael.
Okay, so look, before this amazing man hits the stage, we got to give him a proper introduction, okay? This guy right here that's going to come to the stage and talk to us tonight, he is the political director of FIA, and he does a phenomenal job organizing our leaders, our parents, our school leaders, all in the same spaces to be able to come together collectively and get the desired outcomes. He's more than knowledgeable, and he's been around this city and this county for years on end creating change. So coming to our virtual stage next, we have FIA's political director, Mr. Michael McDaniel Jr. Everybody give him a woo woo, drop some smiles and some hearts in the chat, snap it up. Let's go, Mike. Come educate us tonight. Thank you for blessing us.
Well, that was it is still going. I love it. That's one of the best introductions that I have ever gotten. Thank you so much. You know, you couldn't have teed it up better. Big shout out to both of our chairs for the evening, Stefisha and Benjamin, holding it down, of course. But tonight, guys, as we continue in the new year, Happy New Year again. Woo, 2024 in the house. We're going to start things off with just what's at stake as we roll into this year. Now, I know presidential primaries are grabbing the headlines. That's what people are going to be talking about. That's going to try to dominate the conversation. However, we need to keep in mind that what really is at stake for us and what impacts our children and our lives and our immediate everyday futures, and whether or not even the school that some of our children attend right now will even continue to exist a year from now. The ACOE makes those type of decisions. So let's go ahead and get into things. This is what the current Alameda County School Board is made up of. Okay, these are some faces you want to get familiar with, because some of these people we're going to be meeting with for research actions very soon. These are going to be people that are going to be at our candidate forum. As we've already said before, we have areas 2, 3, 5, and 6 that are going to be up for election in this cycle in March. That can impact and change everything for the future of our children across the county. We're going to talk about exactly like, well, how is that? Why is that? Like, who are these people and what do they even decide? All right, school boards matter. Okay, whether you were aware or not, and unfortunately, a lot of us are not. Heck, when I first started this work about 6 years ago, I wasn't aware of just how much school boards actually affected the day-to-day life of me and my children. I had no idea just how bad it could really get if we had people that were just literally irresponsible, sitting in these seats that make, $1 million in decisions and $1 billion over the life of their terms, over what my students, the services they get that they need. As it says here, and actually I'm going to call on some of you guys to help me out a little bit with some of these and just talk about like why school boards even matter in the first place. Why is this something we need to pay attention to? Tanisha, can you read the first 2 boxes on the slide for me?
Yes, I can. Set the vision and direction of the school district and monitor progress. Manage own budgets of hundreds of millions, billions over a 4-year term.
Right. Like I said, billions with a B. That's a lot of money. Now, all we ever hear half the time is we ain't got no money. District ain't got no money. We ain't got no money. It all depends on who it is that's sitting in these seats, how these monies are managed, if they're going to the services that truly need them, or if they're just kind of sitting out there in limbo with no one even knowing what's really going on with them. Okay. So let me get one more. Let me get some more help here. Let's see. Miss Jackie, can you read the last 2 boxes on the slide for me?
I'll read it, Doreen. Hire and fire a superintendent and ensure he or she is successful. Alameda County Superintendent oversees school district budgets.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Doreen. As it says there,
Muted.
See, Safisha, don't feel bad. It happens to the best of us. But thank you, Doreen, for that. And just like you said, as you can see, these are major decisions that these people are in charge of when they sit on these school boards. We've seen how much, of an impact that a superintendent has over the districts that they serve, over how the school sites are managed, how with money does go to them for different facilities needs, for different special programs for a lot of our children. And we have some of the most vulnerable students across the county. We don't need people that's going to be setting us back when we've already fought so hard to get as much as we have now. That's not all. They also approved opening and renewal and closing of charter schools. There's a lot of people that are on this call tonight. The COVID moratorium on charter school renewals is over. They're going to be coming back to our schools again. So a lot of families in here will be impacted by this decision in March. And the very existence of their schools could be on the line depending on who or who isn't sitting in those seats. They also provide oversight for charter schools. So they have a lot more impact on what goes on for our children than we may believe. As we were saying with that power principle, and we'll talk even more about it, real power is often hidden. I don't think a lot of us really even understood just how much of an impact a county board could have on our children when we're like, wait a second, they're over the whole area. That doesn't make any sense. How could that be the case? Well, they also decide if charter schools receive parcel tax funding from Oakland voters. You see, that's a lot of money that goes towards everything that your school is trying to pour into your child. And a lot of people on this call know, approve Prop 39 facility use and Prop 51 facility grants for charter schools as well. And that has everything to do with the very building that our children are going into. If they're dilapidated, all of the money that they may need for facilities, fundings for repairs and things like that. These are all things that school boards are in control of. So if you don't have responsible, reasonable people there that are willing to listen to families, listen to youth, when they are talking to them, telling them what they need, then it puts us all in a quagmire. Any questions before we continue on about just why school boards even matter so much in the first place? So you guys are like, well, you're like, okay, you told us why they matter, so now what, Mike? What do we do? Again, we have to understand what's at stake first before we can even get into the piece of, well, what are we going to do about it? Look at all of these schools that are actually county authorized charter schools. We have Lazier, CSCE, Oakland Unity Middle, Alternatives in Action, Envision Academy, Cox Academy, UMing. Now, let me see some reactions if your child goes to any of those schools that I just named off. Let me see some reactions. Jump in the chat box. Let me hear from you. Who do we have on here? Oh, see how we go. We got Cox in the house. Who else is in the house tonight? We got lots of Cox in the house tonight. Go ahead and jump into the chat and let me know, because you guys are the ones that this matters to the most. This board is the one that directly affects you. This is the board that decides on the facilities that your children are being taught in. This is the board that decides if that facility is going to be up to code, if you're going to be able to expand your enrollment, if you're doing a great job. These are all very, very important things administratively, but we don't think, okay, well, who actually makes this decision in the first place? Well, that's the Alameda County School Board. And that's why we can't just sit back and just watch things play out.
Michael, I love what you're sharing, and the parents and students associated with these schools, Lazier, CSCE, Unity Middle, Alternatives in Action, Envision, Cox, and UMing, definitely have a very strong self-interest with that Alameda County School Board. But what's the interest of anybody associated with even a district authorized charter school with the county board? Can we just underline that little piece?
So to underpin what Kimmy is talking about, guys, it's plain and simple. Now, if your school is authorized, say by OUSD school board, if they go to the school board and they are denied for renewal, then the appeal process starts with who? The Alameda County School Board to be authorized by them. And so even if you feel like, okay, I'm authorized by USD right now, this has nothing to do with me. Yeah, not yet. Hopefully it never will, but there's always the possibility that this will still end up at the end of the day being your authorizing school board. Do we have any questions from everybody out there? I know this is a lot, but we have to understand just how important it is that our voices are heard, that we stand and we make sure that these candidates know exactly who you are, why you're here, and how important it is for them to engage and listen to parent and youth leaders just like all of you guys. Let's keep moving. So, Mari Garcia, question.
Sí. Lo que estoy viendo es de que son escuelas que en esos años van a ser cerradas o que están a punto de cerrar. Esta es lo que va a pasar con esas escuelas.
Correct. So what it's showing here is that is the term expiration of like their current contract with to be authorized.
Muy bien.
Mm-hmm. So
Ok, entonces lo que tendríamos que hacer es un movimiento para ir a esas escuelas, para que se escuche la voz de los padres de esas escuelas. Ok, gracias.
Exactly. You got it. We got to advocate. We got to get out there. We have to make sure our voices are being heard, that these parents and these youth don't lose what has been a great situation for their families. It's what's working for them. So why take that away? And that's what we have to communicate to those that are in power to make that decision. Excellent question. So again, there's a lot that's at stake. And the reason that, again, like I said, OUSD is on here too, because very easily, if any of these schools that are on this list here on the left side that are OUSD authorized get denied by OUSD, they could very easily move over to the right side here with the rest of our ACOE authorized, because they will need to appeal that decision with the county board. Look at all of these schools down here on the right that were recently closed. We have already lost a lot of high quality schools over time. Seven OUSD district schools, in addition to all of our other alternative education institutions as well. We can't let this continue to happen. And I'm sure all of the UMing parents on here could tell you about the need for facility access and how that is a long road to walk alongside these ACOE board, trustees. And so it's important. That's why this race in particular, I know it's down ballot, but we have to pay attention to this because this one matters a lot. Okay, so back to the election itself. As I said before, there are 4 ACOE school board seats that are going to be up for election, areas 2, 3, 5, and 6. These are the faces of the current trustees that will be running as incumbents this time around. March 5th is the actual election day. The last day to register to vote will be February the 20th, I believe. So if you are not, make sure that you are. If you know anybody who isn't and they have children involved in any of these areas, let them know how important this is and they need to get registered now. Any questions about who's running? He was muted just in time. All right. So here are our challengers. Okay. Don't mind Zoom my slide acting weird. We tried to do something cool here. Anyway, so for area 2, our incumbent is Angela Norman, and her challenger is going to be John Lewis for area 2. For area 3, Kinberg is the incumbent, and he will actually not have a challenger in this year's upcoming election, which means that he actually is automatically wins the seat again. Now for area 5, and again, if you guys had noticed before, we said like areas 3 and 5 are actually, they are high priority races right now. You know, these are 2 of the candidates that have worked alongside families a lot traditionally. And so they are very high priority races. They're very values aligned with a lot of FIA values and mission. And so they're important races that we need to hold space there. As you can see, area 5 is the most contested race that we have right now. There are 3 candidates for area 5: Jonovic Cole, Guadalupe Anglo, and Joe Orlando Ramos will be their candidate for area 5. And then for area 6, the incumbent will be Eileen McDonald, and her opponent will be John Leon Guerrero. Again, it'll be important as this election comes up that we get to know as much about all of these candidates as we possibly can. That is the entire reason why we want to make sure that in any capacity possible, we bring the candidates to you guys, to the people, so that you can hear from them and that they can hear from and see you. Any questions about who's going to be running in this year's election in March? Does anybody out here know any of this year's incumbents or challengers? It's always interesting to see how far people's personal networks extend.
We had an interaction with the incumbent, Angela Norman, as we were going through the fight for the Prop 51 funds. We realized that although she didn't have a vote at the district level, her ability to reach out and have conversation with those who did have a vote made a big difference. So establishing a relationship and understanding who to speak to definitely helps. So that was one person that we had the opportunity to have connection with.
Yeah, I'm just like, I think this is a really important moment, everybody, which is basically these guys can keep your school open or close it down. That's the power these people have. And yet we don't even know them, but they have that much power over our children's education. So I don't know about you all, but with that, I want to get close to that power, because I want to understand these people and their values and what they stand for, to make sure they're the right people to represent our community, because they have a very, very big impact on our kids' education. And everyone who's showing up here, just like Ben said earlier, we're urgently showing up because this is so important. And so, wow, you know what I mean? Wow, these county board members have that much say over our kids' school. I heard Vanessa in the chat box. She said, "Oh, I'm gonna be fighting for my kids' school. They go to Ascend. Come at me. We're gonna see. We're gonna have some words." So let's get to know these folks. Literally, we have very little contact with these folks that make these very big decisions, and that's not okay with me.
Right.
We got to be right up and close and really understanding who these folks are and make sure the right people get in those seats.
Thank you, Kimmy. Thank you, Stefisha. And absolutely, that's why we have to get in relationship with them. We have to understand what their interests are, what their intentions are. And just like we were saying before, Stefisha, you know, that whole situation with Angela is proof. Like the real power was kind of actually from somebody who didn't have a vote in the situation. It was actually a conversation with someone kind of, you know, on a higher elected level that was able to influence the decision of somebody on a more local plane. Again, that real power was hidden. You wouldn't just know that if you're walking down the street going to get McDonald's. You know. Let's keep it going, guys. Again, see,
Michael, there's actually a really good question in the chat box from
Oh.
Ariana, which is, what do the different areas mean? What is
That's
2, 3,
excellent
5,
question.
and
There's
6?
actually, so the areas correspond to, and actually have a great map we passed up here. This is what the areas are referring to. So each of these different trustees across the county is responsible for large sections of the map here. As you can see, area 6 is that goes all the way down here in Fremont. Covers that Newark area and extends down all across and around 880 area. The other area that's up is area 5, which contains Castro Valley, San Leandro, parts of Hayward. See, now then we look at area 3, that's a little closer to home. That's half of Oakland is in there. And then, the other half, including Alameda and all the coastline over there and wrapping back around the backside of area 3 is area 2. So like I said, these trustees actually, they cover a lot of ground in the areas that they preside over. And this is why it's like, it affects wide ranges of people, the decisions that they make. Excellent question, Terry. Any other questions before we move forward, guys? Great question. I asked myself that same question before, and I was like, area? I don't get it. That like a district? I mean, kinda. All right, awesome. So again, just to reinforce this principle, because it's truly, truly tremendously important. Real power is often hidden, as it says, as that example with Angela showed, and oftentimes as little as people understand about what the school boards actually control and what they're able to do and not do. That power is actually often removed from our everyday conversations and from our interactions, something that we've got to fix and will fix. How do we do that? We bring them to us. We find out what they're running for, what their platform is, and exactly make sure that they know that we're going to be there all the way through. So like it says here, to leverage the power of our FIA parent and youth leaders, which you guys, we are preparing for a parent and youth-led virtual ACOE school board candidate forum on February the 8th. We want to make sure, though, that we check in with you guys, make sure this is the right thing. This is what we want to be doing. We think it's the right thing. We've been moving forward like so, but we still want to hear how you guys are thinking about this, if this is right. And we're going to actually make a decision on it. We'll talk about it more in breakout rooms, and we'll make a vote, because you guys are important to this process. And like we always say, we cannot do any of what we are doing without all of you. You guys are the engine that makes FIA hum. All right. So time for our breakout groups. Stop sharing there. All right, and I'll see everybody after we come back. All right, awesome. Welcome back, everybody. Great conversation in our group, as the Fisher was just saying. Fantastic time. So let's go ahead and jump right back into these report backs. Let's see, what were the groups here? We'll start from the bottom, and then we're gonna end up here, just like the song say, what I'm saying? Get your interpretation on, and we're gonna start with our Spanish group G3, Myra G, and Melanie G. Susan.
Who from my group would like to share? Maybe Auri? Auri, ¿usted quiere compartir? o, o Lidia.
Okay, okay. We're gonna try to keep it going. Let's see. How about Danilo, Kimmy? What about your group?
Ah.
Oh, go ahead, Myra.
Sí, bueno, nosotros podemos, bueno, voy a hablar sobre mi grupo. Nosotros hablamos en nuestro grupo la preocupación sobre las elecciones. Muchos de nuestros padres sí sabían.
Apaga tu cámara, Mayra, y habla porque se congeló.
Y muchos padres no sabían el riesgos que nuestras escuelas se están sufriendo y al cerrar las escuelas, qué tan grande hay el riesgo como tanto nuestros niños que se van a quedar sin escuela como los que al cerrar las escuelas a otras escuelas van a ir más niños, entonces se va a afectar tanto las escuelas, los niños y los maestros. Entonces hay mucho en riesgo y esto tenemos que solucionarlo y también hablamos que cómo podemos nosotros como padres dar a conocer que necesitamos los que puedan ir a votar para los mejores candidatos y hacerles la invitación. Y nosotros hablamos que la mejor es por redes sociales hacer la invitación para que muchos padres sepan, para que muchas personas sepan de estas elecciones, porque muchos no saben. Y quiénes pueden ir a votar, porque realmente hay ciudadanos que pueden que tienen que votar, pero no lo hacen y no saben las escuelas que se están perdiendo y ellos pueden hacer algo para salvar esas escuelas. Entonces, por las redes sociales y también nosotros como padres también en nuestras escuelas dar esta información a más padres. Gracias.
Awesome. Thank you, Myra. Let's go and we'll hear from one parent and one student, and we'll go ahead and jump into the next part of our meeting. Let's hear from the leader from our group, Stefisha. I believe that was
Yes.
Ijiri.
Uh-oh, we had elected our parent.
Right.
Let me see. Come on
Hi,
up.
Jerry. I'm still here.
You go there. Go ahead, Jerry.
Hello. We had a great discussion. One of the topics that we kind of honed in on is how do we get the word out to other parents? And I gave some suggestions and about word of the mouth and just sharing with different organizations. I know some people belong to maybe Jack and Jill, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts. Me personally, my youth department at church, I like to share information with the parents as well as the older students. And then at my nephew's after school activities, flag football, excuse me, flag football, or what's the other one you play? Karate, and just have a conversation and just introduce the families to just inform them of who FIA is. What is Family in Actions? What do we stand for? And what are we trying to achieve? And as well as the upcoming dates to vote, register to vote, and how they can impact um, not only the youth, but the parents in terms of what school the kids attend as well as the education. So just word of mouth, just starting that conversation, just having a casual conversation when you're out and about in the public. And again, as I mentioned, that's how I am here because Miss Tanisha just had a conversation and introduced me to Family in Actions and what it's all about. And now I'm here and helping to spread the word and get more parents to get involved. Thank you.
Love, no, thank you, Ajiri. Excellent. No, appreciate you. And we're so glad to have you here because it's parents like you that makes us as a team that much stronger. So let's hear from one of our students, and then we'll go ahead and jump to the next piece of our training for the evening. Javi.
We have hey, from my group, I know we ready to share because we had some good stuff because I personally feel like our group was the best group, you know. But we have an amazing youth from Kip King, Miss Fozia, that's gonna go ahead and share out what we were talking about. It's kind of similar to y'all conversation, but we'll let her tell it.
Hi, my name is Fozia, and we talked about a lot of stuff, including about how we feel about what's happening to our neighboring schools. And I remember one of another youth was talking about how like she goes to Arise, and Arise is one of the schools that might be closing in 2027, and she might have to go to Fremont. But we already know that Fremont school, like their scores are kind of low, so like that might be like that will probably like give her trouble. But what we talked about is how we're gonna share out to other people, and I mentioned that I go to Kip King and that we are connected to Kip Bridge, so I would definitely talk to other Kip Bridge students that used to go there, and we would like talk to staff and have them like share out and make sure that everyone is hearing what's really going on. And also Abrar mentioned how we would like share out in rallies and share like the missions of FIA, and not just about the like the them like enrolling new people for the what was it called, the AE what OC. But yeah, sorry.
That's okay, Fazia. Thank you. And it's the ACOE, Alameda County Office of Education. All right, guys. Awesome report back. Clearly we all got a lot out of our last training piece. And now it is time for us to move into our next training piece. So I'm going to bring to the stage, we'll still have Mr. Fisher. I'm going to bring to the stage, to the mic, Jesus and Vivica, who are going to talk to us about how we disrupt the status quo. We need strategy. All right.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that section, Michael. Again, you guys know how we are. Let's make sure we all come off mute and show our political director some love in getting us prepared for this ACOE forum and making sure he keeps us keeps us well informed of everything that's happening. So on the count of 3, come off mute. Give me a feel whoop. We got 1, 2, 3.
Woo.
That's right. Look at all that love. That's right. And if you can't come off mute, make sure you drop it in the chat. Get some emojis for Mike so it feel good. Thank you so much for that. You guys were here. Done. Ladies and gentlemen, we're almost done, but there's a lot of work to do, right? Well, my name is Vivica Ecoy Walton. I am a parent leader at Cox Academy with an amazing fourth grader. Sorry, I wish he was still 4. And I'm also a family organizer with FIA. And we're going to talk to you guys about disrupting the status quo and how we need a strategy to do that. But before we move forward, I want to bring my amazing co-facilitator out to give you a little bit about who he is, one of our amazing youth leaders. Jesus, go ahead. Let them know who you are.
Thank you, Vivica. So what's up, everyone? Hope y'all are doing good. My name is Jesus, and I'm a current senior at Oakland Unity High School. I started getting involved with FIA more, and this motive mainly came from wanting to create a better quality education for my community. as we're not giving much of the resources to be fully supported through the education system. And as you may know, the Oakland rates for graduates isn't looking the best, and it has nothing to do with the students nor the teachers, but rather with the system that they're following that aren't allowing the students to reach their full potential. In addition to this, I'm first generation, as most of you may be, and I'm also an oldest child, and I'm just trying to create a better path for my younger siblings and making such changes like Measure H, like you and I know that that could greatly benefit them in the future. And I believe FIA truly does advocate for quality education for all students and families, and that's why I'm happy to be here and lead this training with y'all.
Thank you so much, Jesus. Thank you so much. And that's super important. He's such a, you guys, you know, it was such a pleasure to have some time with Jesus on the side. He's such a great sibling. He was doing it all for his younger siblings, and that's what it's about. Can we go to the next slide, please? So, strategy, right? Last week, that's what we talked about, right? Last week, if you guys all remember, well, not last week, last session, because it's been a while since we've seen each other, right? We talked about the definition of strategy, right? Yeah. Strategy. Who remembers what strategy is? If you want to come off mute or type it in the chat. All right, I don't see no chat. You see anybody in the chat telling us what it is? Yeah, Jesus. If not, you know, that's what we got. Okay. Well, look, strategy. If we didn't know what it is, go ahead and push next. Right? Strategy from the amazing organizer Marshall Gans. He says that strategy is when we turn what we have into what we need in order to get what we want. How does that, who does that resonate with? Show me some reflections, reactions. Let me see some reactions and everything in the chat. Come on. I know you guys got a little bit more than that because you guys know I'm the teacher. I will definitely be calling out on some people, right? When we turn what we have into what we got, who does that resonate with right now? Look, definitely, I know it resonates with Kimmy. All right, Daisy, Antonio, okay. So when we're thinking about choosing, when we're thinking about turning what we have into what we need to get what we want, that's strategy, right? Strategy is definitely how we use what we're strong at, right? And we use that so that we can bring in these, you know, whether it's a 101, whether it's bringing policy to the table, right? We turn our relationships that we build in 101s and we turn those and flip those so that we can get what the end goal is, right? We get what we want by making sure we have a plan in place, but that we do it in the right way, okay? So go ahead and go to the next slide. Now, tell us what our strategy is, Sophia, Jesus.
So this is our current strategy. I want to ask, does this look familiar to any of y'all? And we went over this last session actually, and we could quickly reflect for those that didn't get a chance to know. So first of all, what do we want? So we want to disrupt the status quo and lead a movement for equitable access to high quality education in Oakland public schools. So, and from that, we could get to the next one of what do we need? So in order for this, we need more people aware of the academic performance data and knowledgeable about the potential shifts that could occur in the education if Measure S and Measure QQ are fully implemented. And we also have good people in our school board at the local and county levels that could help us with this. And what we currently have is we have 45 connections with 45 schools that are represented on this Zoom call right now. And we have our personal network of our relationships and connections to numerous parents and also youth groups and clubs at our schools. If we believe that the power is organizing people, we have the people. We just have to organize them.
That's right.
So are you ready to turn what we have into what we need and get what we want? Let me know in the chat right now, because I know I'm ready.
That's right. I know I'm ready. Let me have in the chat. All right. Stefisha says she's absolutely ready. And Tanisha says she stay ready, or she ready. We ready, Daisy? Yeah, they ready. I think we're all ready, Louise. I think Louise said, yep, he's ready. I think we're all ready, Jesus. That's right. All right. Can we get the next slide, please? So when we went over this strategy last session, right, we worked on building our call to action. So our first session, we went, for those of us that have already went through your story of self, we were perfecting our story of self, right? So our first step was perfecting our personal story of self. Who are we? Who do we represent? Why do we do what we do? What's our mission, our vision, our goal for the work that we do, right? That was our story of self. And then we moved into what? Our FIA credential, right? You know, and just like Jesus just said, right? FIA represents 45 district and charter schools right now. And we have a number of those schools on with us right now. But the credential says, you know what? We not only do we represent these 45 schools, we also have trained 500 plus parent leaders, student youth leaders since we started in 2019. And that's something to praise, because nobody is putting parents together and youth leaders together to learn how to become leaders or to perfect their leadership or be better and know that they have a voice, right? So the FIA credential is so important because we need to know who we fighting with, right? FIA got our back. We're FIA's right hand, and we have to know who FIA is. But now we move through the third step, right? Which is our urgency statement, which is our story of now. What's happening right now? What is the need? Why is it so urgent, right? And then the last one we're going to work on later is going to be that ask, that definite ask and invitation. And that's going to build our full call to action, right? Because building our call to action is so important. And it's so important to have all of these things in place, right? Because when we come last week, after we combined everything, now we should have a little bit more confidence in giving that FIA credential, who FIA is, what FIA has done, right? And we definitely should have already perfected our story of self. And so tonight we're going to work on helping us all perfect our statement. What's our story of now? What now? Go ahead and go to the next slide, please. What you got for me, Jesus? Who are these people? I mean, I know our amazing political director told us who these people are, but tell us why this is urgent for us right now.
All right, so what we have right here is the ACOE school board election of 2024. On the left, or first, let me say that this is what our urgency statement is about. All the officials on the left are people who have the power to renew schools who are county authorized, and all of the candidates on the right are those who are challenging the. And at the county level, you need your school to get authorized by these elected officials. So that's the importance of these seats and why we should really get more involved in who we think our best candidates are. If you're a current district authorized school, this is super important also, because if for any reason your school is not renewed at the district level, these are the elected officials who have the power to renew your school afterwards. So I know my school is one of those schools that fall under the subject, and I'm not really sure when our next renewal is coming up, but I'm pretty sure it's soon. And I would hate for my school to close down. I mean, it's a great school. I know there's a lot of great people in there, so.
Jesus, your renewal is in fall 2023 with OUSD. So if for any reason OUSD doesn't say yes, then you would go to the ACOE school board in the winter. So it's coming right up, to your point.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So we understand what the importance is, right? We understand that right now the call to action urgency is, since Mike let us know the moratorium on charter renewals is over, that means there's a lot of those that didn't get their renewal during the pandemic that are all in line right now, that are going to have to get that renewal now. So when we're talking about our urgency statement, right, people can understand an issue and they can still not take any action if not asked to do so directly. And that is really the foundation of our urgency statement, right? It's really going to culminate and really culminate with that ask. But when you're drafting your urgency statement, you want to make sure you explain what is at stake in a way that is easily understood. So it has to be clear. And you have to make sure that there's clarity in that, right? So from the information we've been getting so far, what's at stake is charter renewals, is districts, is the OUSD board that's kind of still in a little bit of a hung and split, right? What's at stake is some of our children's schools in our local neighborhoods that may not be open because they chose for whatever reasons not to renew. So that's really what's at stake. So we need to make sure we're explaining that, and those, and, you know, and explaining that that's important, and being clear in that that's the urgent need right now. And then you're going to share how your issue can be resolved and tied to the timeline of your specific action. Urgency. Right now, we have a form that's when? On February 8th. So all of us should be in an urgent need of, it's less than a month away. We need to make sure we get everybody there, that everybody knows about this form, right? We may be in, this may be an Oakland Random organization, FIA, but this form is for all of Alameda County. So I know some of us got friends and cousins that live down the way up there, 880 in Hayward, in San Lorenzo, San Leandro, Castro Valley. All of that is Alameda County, and one of these people represent their area. So let's make sure that we're getting those tie downs and those people to understand, hey, we don't have a lot of time. The election's up in less than 2 months. And then our last step is, after we show them what's urgent and why it's urgent, we need to convey why they need to take action by participating, right? By participating, whether you're a parent, you need to get involved and tell other people, or there's youth leaders, you need to get involved and tell some of the leaders at your school so that you can learn and talk about this, right? Because at the end of the day, strategy, again, what Marshall Gant said, is how we turn what we have into what we need to get what we want. Okay, so we have to make sure we keep our eye on the prize, but we have to make sure we're clear, we have clarity in that statement, we have urgency, we have a timeline, and they're very defined, and that we personalize it and convey why the person individually needs to be a part of this, why you need to help us, and why you need to do this. Okay. All right, now come on and let's go to the next slide, please.
All right, so this
How
is
should an urgency statement look? Jesus, what should it look like?
yep, this is our current urgency statement. So let's take a look and read it together. Can I get a volunteer to read the first paragraph for me? You just come off mute and read it.
Tanisha, let me get you off mute so you can read this for us.
4 new board members for the Alameda County Office of Education will be elected in March. These new representatives will be making important decisions that will impact our school. That's why FIA is hosting a virtual candidates forum on Thursday, February 8th. I knew I had February 8th for some reason. Okay.
Thank you so much, Doreen.
Yep. And can I get one more volunteer for our second paragraph?
I'll go ahead and finish it out. That's why I put February 8th in the chat earlier. We need parents from our school to show these candidates that our voices matter. I know you care about the education of our child and the future of our school. Will you register right now to join us by Zoom on the 8th?
Thank you. So based off these two readings, can I get some chats and see what some key elements are and what we're seeing in this urgency statement? You can also come off mute if you want.
Yeah, what do we see, guys? What do you see? Some of those things of what definitely a date. Okay, Javi, that's right. So that's a date. That's standing out, right? What are some other key things? We know what we just previously talked about. What should it have, right? It should have certain things, right? Axe at the end, Mariela. That's right. That's why she's a youth leader too. She's seen that, right? We had that clear ask. Yes.
Yep. And you guys are hitting all these pinpoints.
Mm-hmm.
So we also have information. So these new representatives will be making important decisions that will also impact our school. And basically, that's why we're getting this urgency statement overall, that's the whole point of this, and that's what we're trying to get out of this whole idea.
That's right. Go ahead and go on to the next slide for us. So now that we seen an example, we are going to hear an example, right? So we have the amazing parent leader, Katia, that's going to come on and share with us her urgency statement, right? She's going to do her so she's going to do her personal credential. She's going to do the FIA credential. Then we're going to hear an example of the urgency statement, right? So we're going to go ahead and have Katia come off of mute for us and give us her statement.
Gracias, Vivica. Bueno, aquí va mi ejemplo. Empezaría así, ¿verdad? Hola, buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Katia Caballero. Soy madre de Camila, que asista a Greenleaf, y Cristian, que está en el 10º grado en Unity High School. Soy de México, en donde gracias al enorme esfuerzo de mis padres pude terminar mi licenciatura en educación preescolar. Soy la única de mis 3 hermanos que pudo concluir mis estudios. Yo quiero para mis hijos eso mismo que tuve. Los quiero ver graduados y felices por siempre. Sé que dificultades se les presentarán, pero por eso soy madre líder de FIA. Porque al haber participado en los diferentes institutos he adquirido mucha información que me ha brindado herramientas para poder exigir la calidad de educación que ellos merecen. Gracias a FIA soy una madre involucrada en la educación de mis hijos, donde puedo ser un ejemplo para ellos, brindándoles la experiencia de luchar por sus sueños. Para mis hijos, quiero que el límite sea el cielo. Deseo verlos fuertes, empoderados, empáticos, resilientes, valientes, etc. FIA es una organización dirigida por padres y jóvenes con sede en 45 escuelas charter y distritales dentro de Oakland. Desde nuestra fundación en 2019 hemos capacitado a más de 500 líderes educativos de padres y jóvenes, siendo yo uno de ellos. Nos motiva la realidad de que solo 2 de cada 10 estudiantes afroamericanos y latinos en Oakland pueden leer al nivel de su grado y solo 1 de cada 10 estudiantes están al nivel de su grado en matemáticas. Nuestros niños merecen algo mejor. Creemos que todos los estudiantes de Oakland merecen un acceso equitativo a una educación pública de calidad. Por eso, estamos orgullosos de liderar un movimiento para desarrollar defensores de la educación de base que garanticen que nuestras voces e historias sean escuchadas por los tomadores de decisiones. En marzo se elegirán 4 nuevos miembros de la Junta Directiva de la Oficina de Educación del Condado de Alameda. Estos nuevos representantes tomarán decisiones importantes que afectarán a nuestras escuelas. Por ejemplo, sabemos que las escuelas charter necesitan renovar contratos y están pidiendo fondos para renovar edificios. La escuela donde asiste mi hijo, Unity, es una iglesia con salones portables. Por eso es la gran necesidad de recibir estos fondos. Necesitamos que nosotros, como jóvenes y padres, mostremos el poder de nuestras voces. Sé que nos preocupamos por la educación de nuestros hijos y el futuro de cada escuela, pero tenemos que ocuparnos también. Por eso es que los estoy invitando el día de hoy al foro que se realizará por Facebook el día 8 de febrero a las 5 p.m. Y me gustaría hacerte la invitación ahorita. Tengo aquí el código y me gustaría que te registraras conmigo. ¿Te gustaría unirte a esta lucha con nosotros? Es todo, Vivica.
Thank you so much. Look at you all. Look, I don't know about you guys, but I think I need to get that an extra feel, woo, right? So, Katia, that was so amazing. Everybody, let's get you off of mute. And on 3, let's give Katia an amazing woo woo. 1, 2, 3. Woo, That was amazing. A great example. Look at that. Ooh, I like that woo woo at the end. It was a little song.
That was an amazing example, Katia. I'm so glad that you were able to share that. And that's exactly what it should look like, you guys. And don't think Katia's a pro. She's had to practice just like the rest of us. And it is it's possible, you guys. It's possible. And your story of self, story of now, and ask is all personal to you. Thank you so much for that. Can we get the next slide, please? So now we talked about what strategy is, right? Then we also talked about what it looks like to have an urgency statement after we did our story of us, our story, our story of self, our story of now. And then we're working on now the urgency statement to go on the end of that, right? So what we're going to do in our breakout rooms is we're going to review the elements of building our call to action to get more people involved, right? We're going to make sure we're going over our personal credential a little bit and then going over the FIA credential, right? And then we're also going to answer any questions that you might have about any of the information you just seen delivered from me and Jesus. Then we're going to practice. We're going to try to make sure you get everybody in to practice their speeches, right? And we're going to use a 2-minute timer. So let's try to keep it to 2 minutes so that everybody in the group can go and can feel good about doing, about reciting what they have so far. It does not have to be 100% done and edited and just and with the bow around it, right? No, we're asking you to work on it, but let's work on it together as community and help each other out and listen to each other so that we're not as nervous as we might be, right? Because you're going to combine your personal credential, the FIA credential, and the urgency statement. And then, of course, we're going to make sure we ask you guys to assign somebody in your breakout room that's going to give the report back so that we can get through. So let's make the most of our time here in these breakout rooms, everybody. And once it pops up, make sure you join your respective breakout room and we'll go from there. All right, Javi, take it away.
Awesome. So I'm going to call on one of our youth, and although he didn't get a chance to finish, definitely want to share what he has so far. So I'm calling you, Angel.
Hello all. So my name is Angel Garibay, and I'm a student here at Oakland Unity High School. And I'm here to represent and serve as a voice to all the struggling youth here in Oakland. And my driving motivation is to bring a proper education to all in our community. And my mission is also to make this a reality. And so I've been working with Javier and my group. And I started on my story of now. I haven't finished, but this is what I have now so far. So in the past, Oakland has suffered greatly from academic challenges, and it's also created a spark within us, everyone here in this Zoom meeting. It's created a spark for us to join together and to create a change in the education system. And this is what I have down so far, but I do want to add more about our current challenges and also my call to action. But yeah, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak.
Awesome. Loving it. You got some heat in there, bro.
He brought the heat. Dang. Angel.
Thank you.
Awesome. I think we have time for one more group. I think, Susan, do you want to call on a leader?
Marisol, por favor. Si quiere compartir su invitación.
Hola, buenas noches. Mi nombre es Marisol Barreto. Soy mamá de 4. Mi hija mayor está en la universidad. Tengo 2 hijos en high school y mi hijo más pequeño es de 3er grado en ASEN. Quiero invitar a todos los padres a asistir al foro informativo este 8 de febrero. Considero que tenemos que estar informados sobre quiénes nos van a representar para poder así darles y proporcionarles una mejor educación a nuestros hijos. No nos desanimemos, no importa nuestro estatus legal, todos podemos hacer un cambio.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow.
Awesome. Thank you, Marisol. And for those who didn't get a chance, please go home and share with your folks and also finalize it, right? You guys have your buddies, work with them to make sure you guys get it done. If not, your organizer will be happy to work with you to finalize yours. That being said, I'm gonna go ahead and pass it on to Santiago. Thanks, everybody.
Buenas noches a todos. Como sabes, mi nombre es Santiago. Feliz año nuevo para todos. Tengo la siguiente diapositiva. Las actividades de liderazgo y requisitos para su finalización y obtener los 250 debe de hacer. 1. La asistencia, las 4 secciones del Instituto de Liderazgo y lleve a cabo 6 conversaciones individuales con otros jóvenes, padres, amigos, vecinos, líderes escolares o distritales para compartir lo que ha aprendido y construir a su red de relaciones. Asista al foro virtual de candidatos ASOE de FIA e invite a 5 amigos, familiares o miembros de la comunidad el 8 de febrero del 2004. Otros 3 pasos siguientes. El primero, regístrese el testimonio de FIA utilizando la nueva credencial de FIA y envíelo al equipo de FIA. 2. Envíe un testimonio de FIA y publíquelo semanalmente 4 veces en las redes sociales. 3. Dar testimonio personal de una reunión de la Junta Escolar de OUSD ACOE entre enero y marzo. 4. Participar al menos en una acción de investigación de FIA. Por ejemplo, mañana tenemos una a las 5:30. Si gustan, están invitados. Tenemos otra. El equipo de liderazgo. Reúnase con su equipo de liderazgo. Planificar la estrategia de participación en el foro de candidatos. Próximos pasos. El poder está en la práctica. Nuestra tarea, llamada a la acción, historia de uno mismo y de nosotros, y ahora y juntos. Practica con un miembro de la familia lo que aprendiste hoy. Ahora tenemos el enlace de evaluación, está en el chat, por si quieren entrar y registrarse. Queremos que nuestros...
Santiago,
Mande.
Santiago, before we do that, can we just make sure everybody pauses and signs up for the candidate forum? I see Doreen just signed up. I see Madeleine just signed up. I see Madeleine Lemos just signed up. We need everybody who is on this call right now. We have 43 people signed up. Is 43 people going to show the Alameda County candidates that we're serious and that we have power? No, Steph is like, no, it's not. We got to sign up. We got to show up in big, big, big numbers. Jamisha, I know you signed up long time ago. We got Miss Jackie signed up a long time ago. We need everybody on here. Give me a thumbs up on your Zoom once you sign up. Does everybody have that link? Yeah, and we had 250 people at Lazier Academy for OUSD Special Election Candidate Forum. This time we have a lot of the candidates coming, guys. We're going to have a full house of ACOE candidates because they learned they need to show up for you guys. So we got to have big, big numbers. Does anybody need the link? I just want to do this. It's a little bit more important than the evaluation. So I just want to make sure there's the link in that chat box. Does everybody see it? And I would love for the next session, guys, let's get a QR code on the screen so we can have people just put their phones up. Oh, wait, I'm seeing some more signups. We are at 48 now. Thank you, Daisy. Thank you, Tariana. Thank you, Abrar. Thank you, Marisol. Thank you, Gamala. Let's keep going. Let's keep going, everybody. Thanks, Dina. Thanks, Lucinda. Thanks, Mariella, Joe Elaine. We got some good people coming. But we need more. We have 53 people on this call, so there should be more. Let's go, let's go. Madi, come on, Ben, come on, everybody, let's go. All right, I'm gonna kick it back to you, Santiago. Thank you.